Hey everyone, my name is Bridget. I am here as a speaker, a teacher, and a coach, helping people align with their truest, highest version of their self. I call this their soulful essence. One of the steps along my own personal journey was understanding this concept of Ayurveda. Now, if you're new to that word or my world, this has been a very, very pivotal kind of stepping stone on my own personal journey. Ayurveda is the sister science of yoga. And I actually was more familiar with Ayurveda before I was familiar with the practice of yoga. Yoga as a practice is to unite, to join individual consciousness with universal consciousness. Ayurveda is a self-healing modality. And Ayurveda believes that when you can feel good in your body, when you can really feel like the highest version of yourself, that soulful essence, this place of wholeness, of perfect balance, you can then transcend past the physical things that might hold you back in your life. And that is where you are going in a yoga practice, right? You are trying to reach further stages. And although I'm not trying to be a monk in the Himalayas, it's not my existence. I'm here as a speaker and a teacher and to use my voice and to share these teachings and impart the wisdom so that you can be your own best teacher. But I do want to dive into what Ayurveda is, how you can use it in your life, and I'm just going to go over a couple really, really basic things, and you'll probably see a number of videos on here from me. So, to begin, Ayurveda is a 5,000-year-old really medical system, and it's one of the first medical systems that was really ever created. Traditional Chinese medicine and some of these more ancient systems that look at the body holistically came from Ayurveda. Okay, Ayurveda was found, my dog's making very funny noises right now. Ayurveda was founded in the Vedas, which were these ancient texts, the same where yoga came from, where Tantra, and some of these more ancient practices came from. Now, Ayurveda looks at the elements in nature, and Ayurveda says that these elements in nature are not that far off from us. Okay, the elements are ether, air, air, fire, water, and earth. And all of those elements combined create the earth outside, but they also create us. Right? So some people are a little bit more fiery, some people are a little bit more airy, some people are a little bit more grounded. So we actually use these to explain and describe people. So it's very relatable, actually. Now, out of these 5 elements, Ayurveda says we have the 3 doshas. The doshas are the mind-body kind of connection. They are mind-body archetype. They are biological humors. And it's not ha-ha humor. This is kind of an archetype. That's how you can think of it. So the first dosha is Vata dosha, and that is the combination of ether and air. The second dosha is Pitta, and that is the combination of fire and water, but it's just easier to think of it as fire. And then we have Kapha, and that is earth and water. And we are all a unique balance of these 3 doshas. We all have all of the doshas within us in varying amounts. And when we were born, we had what's called our prakruti. This is that initial inborn state. It's like a fingerprint. It never changes. So for instance, your prakruti could be, 20% vata, 40% pitta, and 40% kapha. And that never changes, okay? However, we live in a world where we are ingesting foods that maybe don't serve us. Maybe we drink too much alcohol one night. We have environmental toxins. We have busyness in our schedule, in our life. And that brings us out of balance. So that's where we start getting, headaches, migraines, stomach aches, all of these physical symptoms. And Ayurveda would say that's because we're away from our inborn natural state. And that is called your vikruti. So that place where you really are operating from most of the time. Now, a lot of things can change that vikruti, right? The time of the year, like in the summer, you might feel a little bit more heated. Okay, in your actual physical body, this connects to the mind, this connects to your skin, everything, all your organ systems. Maybe during the fall and the winter, you feel a little bit more scatterbrained. Your skin feels dry. Your lips are dry. I think mine are right now. You have dryness in the colon and your digestive system, leading to constipation. The weather has affected you, inner, outer, vice versa. Maybe in the spring, you feel a little bit more dampness in your system, right? This is when we get seasonal allergies, congestion, mucus, phlegm. That is all a kapha imbalance. So you can start to see how all of these work together. And I recommend, if you don't have an Ayurvedic doctor nearby who would do tongue analysis, who will do pulse analysis, I recommend you take a quiz online. I personally enjoy Banyan Botanicals or Sahara Rose's quiz. She was one of my first coaches a couple of years ago when I was just starting to enter this world of being online and kind of putting yourself out there and creating and, going through the things. So I recommend her quiz as well. Or there's Joyful Belly. I think they have a quiz as well. And that will help you understand your vikruti, right? This place of imbalance. From that place, you can start to add things into your life, do different practices, different activities, use different oils, different foods, different yogic practices to bring yourself back into balance. So all of the doshas are within us in varying amounts. People who have a lot of vata dosha tend to be very airy. They're very creative. They're very mental, cerebral in the mind. They're thinkers. They're creative. They're visionaries. But what happens when you're too much in the mind and your gears are going and going and you have a million tabs open on your computer? Guess what? You're ungrounded and you feel scatterbrained. You feel all over the place. Your digestion is off. Right? So that is what vata imbalance versus out of balance can look like. And it's a spectrum of all of this. It's a long spectrum. Pitta, that person with a lot of fire, they can be very passionate, very fiery, very forward, very intense, bright, focused, sharp, intelligent. But what happens, these are like the CEO, entrepreneur, business person types. What happens when you go with a lot of intensity? You burn out. So we actually use terms that relate to the doshas to explain what happens to people when they have that imbalance. Okay, so that's what happens. So what do you need? You need to literally slow down. You need to cool yourself down. Like they would not do well with all the spices because they're naturally spicy. They need cooling herbs, spices, cilantro, hello, mint, cucumber, zucchini, be by the water, all these things that really do make sense to us, but we don't see it in this way. We were never taught this way. So here I am. And then we have kapha, and that is that grounded earth energy. So these people are very much space holders. You can think of like a grandmother archetype or Oprah. She is like the giver. They hold space for people to work through their own issues. This is like the mother archetype, the give, hold space, very loyal, very kind. But sometimes they forget to take care of themselves because they put everyone else first. What happens when you don't take care of yourself? The imbalance of kapha is lethargy, like lethargic, tiredness, slow, sluggish, weight gain, just this heaviness in the mind. And Ayurveda is everything connected. So in the body too, like they don't want to do the things anymore because they are tired. They gave too much and they haven't received. They haven't taken the time to care for themselves. So this was just a really, really brief overview of what Ayurveda is, how you can start to understand it in your own life. And I will go into this further if this excites you. But it really does relate to your soulful essence, which is this inborn, like your prakruti, this perfect place within you where you are connected to the love that you are, where you are connected to joy, abundance, all of these very high vibrational levels and feelings and emotions. And when you live from that place of balance in Ayurveda, or your soulful essence, as I call it, things are working out for you, right? The opportunities flow to you. The people that you need to meet flow to you. Doors open. You say no to things that don't serve you because you have a very, very strong understanding of who you are. You're also able to say hell yes to the things that do excite you, right? And things are working out. And it's not to say that everything always works out. No. But you understand how to bring yourself back to your home frequency, your soulful essence, your prakruti. So I hope this all makes sense. And I truly believe that just by listening to this information, you will start to develop an awareness for yourself and what's going on for you. If you'd like to be in contact, I do have a group coaching program about to begin in January. And if group coaching is not your thing, I'm also opening a couple of one-on-one spots for those special people who just really need that dedicated, personal attention. Lots of love to you all. I hope you guys all have the most beautiful day ever, and I'll talk to you soon.